Good morning. Welcome to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay, and we are now joined by Kammie Semien, and you're the owner of Caked Makeup Artistry by Kammie LLC.
Yes.
I love the name. I love Caked. And it's a K because Kammie?
Yes.
Because it starts with a K, so I
Yes.
like that a lot. And before we came on, I was saying, I could tell you're a makeup artist. Everything is just beautiful, like just very well put together. And I love your the vest that you created and your logo and everything.
Thank you.
So it looks very nice. So tell us a little bit about yourself. So where are you from and who's your family yeah.
Okay. My name is Kammie, and I am from Mamou. I was born and raised there. My family is the Richards. George Richard is my grandfather, and I come from a long line of creative people. So I'm also a mom and a wife. I've been married for 12 years, and I have 2 daughters, and I'm also a nurse by trade.
Wow.
And I got into makeup in my 30s, early 30s, and then I've been licensed since 2016, so I've been professionally doing makeup since then. Prior to that, I didn't have any history in makeup at all.
Wow, I was going to ask you that. So what made you want to get into that?
It was just, it was God.
Yeah.
I got to a point in my life where I was just doing nursing and being a mom and being a wife, and back then I had a godchild who was in high school, and I started just doing her makeup for prom and homecoming, and I wasn't really good, but it was good enough to get the job done. But I just reached a point, I think, in my career as a nurse that I wanted to do more. And I've always had I've always wanted to mentor young ladies and just to, inspire other girls. And so I asked God one day to give me a hobby. And he told me to do makeup.
I love that.
And he gave me the name of my business. And so this is all him. Like, this is not even any of my doing. I didn't even have to think about the name. He just gave it to me.
That's when you know you're on the right path.
Yes.
I love that. So how do you fit that in with nursing? Nursing's a very difficult job.
Well, I have a mom job as a nurse, so I really don't, I haven't worked in a hospital in many years. So I've been doing home health for 12 years now. And so that gave me a lot of flexibility. And now I still do home health, but I'm in the office. So I have an office job, and I make it work. I make it work. I do makeup at all times of the morning. I do makeup during the week. Early in the morning, I have some wonderful clients who come, and 6 in the morning before I go to work during the week, I'll do makeup. And then on the weekends, I do weddings and whatever, anything.
I was going to ask, like, what types of events? Like, we're in Mardi Gras season right now. Have you done any Mardi Gras balls?
Yes, this past weekend, I was in Lake Charles. I have a lot of clients there, so a lot of them will want to come here to Mamou, but I usually have enough to where I'll just make a post on Facebook, and I get bookings for Mardi Gras balls. So I went out there this weekend and just did makeup for my clients there who were going to Mardi Gras balls.
Love it. So, weddings, Mardi Gras balls, I imagine prom.
Prom, homecoming, any type of corporate events. I love doing weddings. I travel everywhere.
Where's the farthest you've traveled?
The furthest I've traveled, I haven't gotten out of the state of Louisiana yet, but I know it's coming.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it will be.
I have a lot of dreams and aspirations as a makeup artist, and my dream is to one day be able to do it full time. I love nursing, but I believe that God has given me this passion. So I enjoy it, and I really love the everyday woman doing makeup for them, and seeing how you can change somebody's life just by being in their presence and just give it that good spirit and that good, that good environment. And then from start to finish, I just love applying it. I don't wear it every day, but I just enjoy applying it on women.
That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you, was what's your favorite part about it? And I imagine you may have some women who lack confidence. Yes. They're very timid, but once they see themselves put together, yes. then they have more confidence.
Yes.
And, yeah. So that happens
frequently. It's an amazing experience to see someone walk in, especially I love the women who've never worn makeup before or never had their makeup professionally done, and to come out and just have that confidence, and they just love it. And everyone says that they just enjoy the process, and the experience is just so relaxing to them.
I can tell, because it definitely helps that you're that type of person that you seem very open and inviting, and so that helps a lot. What services do you offer?
I do traditional makeup, which is your normal liquid, cream, powder, foundations. I also airbrush. I do airbrush makeup. I do a lot of airbrushing for bridal. And I do makeup for fashion shows. I've done fashion shows. I've worked New York Fashion Week. I have traveled all over to do all of that. So that is the furthest. I did go out of the state.
Okay, it was like you did New York Fashion Week.
Yes,
you were up there.
So I do it all. Fashion shows, I enjoyed doing that, and it did help me whenever it came time to doing weddings, because with fashion shows you pretty much have to take client after client after client after, and it's just different ethnicities and women walking in your chair. So it just really helps you to just have to think fast.
Right. And do you just work on women, girls, or do you use men, boys as well? Or
I have done male grooming at New York Fashion Week, and that is another avenue that I would like to get into, and I like that too. So I have done male grooming.
I imagine it's not too popular down here, because everybody's kind of stuck in that, kind of that that mindset. You know, personally, if you're going to be on camera or something, you should be wearing something.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, and everyone, like the professionals, do that. Men are always wearing makeup if they're, just giving the news or whatever. They have to wear something. Personally, I like it when a guy has the guy liner.
Yes.
Brings out their eyes. It's so pretty. It's attractive. So we like that. And were there any other occasions that you would do that for? Like, did you do any boudoir?
I do work with a photographer. She lives in Houston, and she does come about quarterly, and she does boudoir sessions. She books the sessions, and I go in and I do the makeup, and that is a whole experience in itself. And that is also an amazing way to empower yourself as a woman. If you just want to lift your spirits up, or do it for yourself, do it for your husband.
Right.
It is an amazing experience.
I was going to say that must be a time when a woman feels the most vulnerable,
Yes,
because
it
that's,
is.
You're wearing hardly anything, but that's the time where you want to get, like you said, empowerment, and just having that look. And I can imagine how empowering that makes them feel, and gain confidence.
It's an awesome experience, and I really enjoy being a part of women's very important landmarks in their life. So like a wedding, I love the wedding experience. I like being there. Makeup artists are really not in the spotlight. We're in the back, and we're there to make sure everything flows. So spiritually, I just love to just set the tone for the whole environment. Right. And I love doing the weddings. I love from start to finish helping them get ready, and enjoying that. And just like the boudoir sessions, just pouring into the women and encouraging them, and letting them know that they can, they can do that.
Yeah, you're not just making over their faces; you're making over their confidence.
Right,
It's good for their souls and their spirit.
And it helps me as well. It's been
it's therapeutic.
I love it. I love it. I also teach makeup classes. To other makeup artists, and also the everyday woman who just wants to learn how to do a normal, beautiful face, like when they want to go out. I understand that being a makeup artist, a woman can't come to me every day. They want to go out and do something. So it's nice to learn how to do it yourself.
Yes,
so
it is.
I do that as well. I do one-on-one classes, and also classes with professionals who want to learn my techniques on how I do clients.
Oh, wow. That must be something, like you're teaching professionals.
Yes.
That must be a good feeling.
Yes. And it is a good feeling that someone wants to learn from me. I love to pour in what I know in my knowledge and give it to others.
Right. Well, we're going to have to take a break soon, really quick, but we're going to come back because you have a demonstration to do, which I'm excited to see. I want to learn some techniques too. But really quickly, where can we, are you on Instagram, Facebook? How do we get in touch with you?
I am on Facebook, Caked Makeup Artistry by Kammie.
Caked with a K.
Caked with a K. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok now. My name on TikTok and Instagram is Semien, MUA, with Cam with a K. And I have a website, www.cakedbykammie.com. And my email is cakedbykammie@gmail.com. And that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kammie. We're going to be right back with a demonstration from our lovely model.
Yes.
I think she might. Are you nervous? No, she'll be fine. You're going to do a good job with her. You're watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Be strong and courageous. That's the message Jesus has for you if you're injured or ill. Keep your eyes on Christ and let us at Fontenot Physical Therapy and Fontenot Physical Therapy West help you run the race. Fear is useless. Just trust in Jesus and let us help you have hope in your future. Have a happy new year and God bless you.
At 1319 South Chautauqua Road is Paul's Specialty Meat Market and Grocery, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience. Specializing in smoked meats, specialty meats such as stuffed roast, holiday turduckens, boudin, crackling, fryers stuffed with crawfish and cornbread, and large freezer specials. Providing fresh smoked meats to the community for 27 years. That's Paul's Specialty Meats and Grocery, 1319 South Chautauqua Road, Ville Platte, Louisiana, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience.
2 and 1. Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. We've been talking with Kammie Semien of Caked Makeup, and she is ready to do a demonstration on the beautiful Imani, who was a little bit nervous, but she's going to be fine. She didn't have to talk, I told her, so she's just going to sit here and look pretty. And so what would you start with whenever you're starting to apply makeup?
I tell everybody that the foundation to makeup is not the foundation that you're putting on your face. It is the skincare underneath. So what we did prior to coming on was I had her moisturize one side of her face, and also we did a little primer, and I also sprayed her face with some spring mist just to kind of hydrate her skin, because dry skin on makeup is not pretty.
Right, no, especially like if it's really dry and it starts to kind of flake a little bit, you'll see it. It kind of makes it stand out more.
So if you prep the skin well, then everything else that you layer on top is going to look beautiful.
Okay. Now, what's the next step? Is just the basic foundation, the color foundation?
It just depends on what I'm doing, and like her skin is just flawless. So I probably would just go ahead and do her face first and then eyes last.
Okay, well, let's start with that. And I'll ask you some questions while we're doing the demonstration.
Okay.
Like how, I know for myself, it's very difficult to find a foundation that matches my skin color.
Right.
So do you find that most women have that issue, or do you help them find the best, foundation for them?
That is an issue. And then a lot of times when women are going into the stores, the lighting is bad.
Yes. That fluorescent lighting that is not
a lot of times the people that are working in the stores, they're not really educated on matching, and a lot of times the foundations, they change as they lay on the skin. So that is the big deal. Like a lot of times people get matched and then it doesn't, it's like, well, I took it home and it doesn't match me anymore. So I like to just tell people, if you try it on, do not try it on your arms, because your arms are different colors. And your face, like I like to try it match on the side of the face. And that's how I like to try it. And if it disappears, then it's a match.
And you want to get, I'm sure, the right foundation according to your skin type.
Right.
So you don't want something too oily if you have.
Correct. And also, a lot of people don't know this, but I try to educate my clients every time they leave. When they leave with something. Like they leave knowing how to do something.
Oh, good, good.
So the most important thing is like people don't realize if you're using liquid foundations or creams, you need to be able to set everything, because if you don't, it's going to move around. Right. So you want to kind of stop that from happening.
I know my biggest problem, especially when the pandemic was, in full swing, wearing a mask and having my makeup rub off. So does setting spray help that?
Setting spray helps, but I use a lot of setting sprays more so to melt the powders rather than set. And then I have certain sprays that are just used to actually lock it in.
Okay.
Right. Oh. So then I like to melt it so that you don't look caked up.
Right.
What
does now you airbrush makeup as well? Does that one tend to stay better than when
airbrush makeup? What I love about it, it is very much non-transferable. Like with my brides, they're going to be kissing and hugging people all day and stuff. So once it sprays on, it's on and it stays there.
Good.
And it's really beautiful.
How long did it take you to learn the airbrushing technique?
It didn't take long. It's just what took long was learning matching, matching and different textures of skin, and it's bad. It could be bad. It could go really bad.
Did you practice on your family and friends a lot?
I gave away a lot of free makeovers, yes. I did. What I'm doing right now is just highlighting under her eyes. We just want to brighten it up a little bit.
I see, yeah.
We did the foundation. As you can see, you can't see it anymore. It blended very well in her skin, and I just like to open up the eyes. That's what a lot of women tell me when they wear mascara and eyeliner in the morning for work, but I like to just open the eyes up, and especially if you have dark circles, you go 1 or 2 shades lighter. Okay, so I'm just blending this with a brush. You can do it with a brush, you can do it with a sponge, but I like brushes. So we just blend that really well. And some women, they stop right here at this point. Okay. But I'll tell them, like, as Imani would go on throughout her day, she's blinking her eyes and all this stuff, and she's touching her face. This stuff will just move and crack up, and it'll, like, all the fine lines in her skin, it'll just settle in there. So we don't want to do that. So that's why this next step is very important.
Does a primer help with that, though?
No, it won't help if you don't set it.
Okay.
Because, the liquids will stay liquidy until you set it and just keep it in place. So that's why this next step is important. So this is just a setting process. So once we blend it out, all of the areas there, I just like to take a translucent powder and I'm going to set it. This part is very, very important.
Now, do you apply it when it's still kind of wet, or
it has to be wet? So that's the whole thing. So as you can see, as we set it, we're just pressing it in. We're not necessarily putting a ton of powder. We're just using what's in the brush, and we're just working it in.
Yeah, blending, very important, of course.
Yes, blending is important. So it's already set, like her face is set. So now we don't have to worry about her under eye area.
Do you have any clients with certain skin conditions? Because I know I have rosacea. So is it more difficult to try to get that kind of hidden, or do you use a special, like maybe a green, over? Because green helps to neutralize the redness.
Yes. For darker skin women, we use like peaches and like an orange undertone. Like for the redness, I do use the green, and that helps a lot. So I use the green, and then and we just layering it. Really, you don't need to move the products. You just need to press them in and keep them in place. We're not moving anything. So I like to just put some here too, just to set it. So like everywhere we put foundation and stuff, I just like to set it. Okay. And then next, we're just gonna put her a quick brow, and then do a quick little eye, and it's gonna be very easy.
That Iman is looking like a model already.
Yeah, that under eye, I'm telling you, it makes a big difference.
I know, it makes her eyes pop.
Yes. So next is just the brow. And
now you're using a like
pencil.
A brush.
This is a pencil.
Pencil with a brush on the end?
Correct.
Okay, good.
So I like to brush the brows up in place. And then I just take my pencil, which has it's really thin, and I love it. And I'll take that, and I'll just follow her natural brow.
Okay. Now, for women who really don't have eyebrows, it's important, I guess, for them to just make sure they go over the brow bone and follow that.
Well, you could still see, like I have some clients that don't have a brow, and we make them a brow.
Okay.
You know, they have so you want to make sure you have an arch here. So here you have an arch. Everybody should have an arch here, and then our brow should stop here.
Okay.
It should stop here, arch here, and then here.
Okay.
This is where our brow should start. It shouldn't come any further.
We don't want a unibrow.
No, we don't want any unibrows. So I just outline it first, and then I see where I need to fill it in.
Right.
So there's no way you should overfill and make your brows too harsh.
Right.
If you draw it out first, you outline, and then you can just fill in to make your brow look as natural as possible.
And you want to get the color close to your hair color
Correct.
as possible. Yeah.
Correct. I have some clients that have highlights, and you know, they have different color hair, so we just try to just go accordingly to the hair style, the hair color.
Okay.
But I just do a very few light strokes, and then I'll brush that out. And there it is. We have her brow. So her brow's done, and now I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer under her eye.
Okay.
I
Makes
have
it stand out some more.
Yeah, I use disposables a lot, so I've been learning how to just use my disposables and not use so many brushes.
Right. So as far as like different colors, like let's say eyeshadows, and you want to, some women have like the yellow undertone, some have blue undertone. Does that make the big difference according to like what color you should be using?
As far as your eyeshadow goes, yes. You know what? Being an artist, a lot of women are not comfortable with color. So the most that I know everybody uses is browns. Gold tones, yes, the earth tones are. You can't go wrong with that. I don't care what
That's
color
just a
your
classic
eye,
look, yeah.
So we just highlight it under her brow just to kind of make it pop out.
Oh yeah,
see? And that makes a difference.
It sure does.
It makes a big difference. So we just, that's it. That's before. This is after, and we just.
That is a big difference.
So she wouldn't even have to have any eyeshadow on, okay? And then I would take some more powder if I'm not going to put any eyeshadow on. And I'm just going to set that concealer that we just put under there.
So what do you think is the most challenging part of your job?
I don't really feel like I have a challenge. I'm my own worst critic.
Right.
So I am my own, I'm the only one that gets in my own way.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I'm the same way.
I get in my own way all the time, and I'm always critiquing my work. I'm always trying to do better, and I only want to get better than I was the previous year.
Right.
So that is it for that. So if she just wanted to go out like that, she could. So
as long as the other half is done.
Right. As long as the other half is done. So after we do all of that, we're going to have to melt those powders that we just put on top of her face. So we're going to do that with some setting spray. And I like the mist. And it just melts everything. So once I do that, I'm just going to press all that in. Okay?
Now, let's say general store makeups, like okay to use, or do you think women should be using like the high grade or professional?
No.
Yeah. So we're just
you
fine.
You don't have to break the bank to look beautiful. No, you do not.
Good.
I personally wear store-bought, like, Maybelline, and yes, you can. You just need to know how to apply it.
How to apply it, right.
Yes.
Make sure you blend it.
That's it.
And set it. So we learned some core
So literally
principles.
what we just did was melted all those powders. So now you don't look powdery. Everything just melted into her skin.
Very smooth.
That's
it helps to have good skin to begin with.
Yeah, but if you don't, it doesn't matter if you don't have perfect skin. Some things we can't get rid of. We can't get rid of texture, but we can help to accentuate the areas that need to be.
Right.
Yes.
That's such a great job. I love it. And I see that you're going to go really far with this. And we're going to have to wrap up pretty soon. But is there anything that you wanted to mention about your business or anything else?
I just wanted to just put it out there that I'm here. I'm available for weddings and all types of events, and any mentoring that other artists need, or just any everyday women. I'm out there for them. That's when I put myself out there, and God has given me the gift, and I'm here to bless everyone who wants to be blessed.
I just love having you here, and I hope you come back again.
Yes.
And hopefully when you come back again, you will have traveled even farther and done more. So thank you so much for joining us, Kammie. Thank you, Imani, for being our beautiful mod. Imani does makeup too, by the way.
Yes.
So, and she does nails. Yeah. We're trying to get her to have an interview as well. So Kammie, thank you again. Let's say your name of your business one more time and where to find you.
Caked Makeup Artistry by Kammie, LLC. I'm located in Mamou, Louisiana, but I do travel everywhere.
Very good. And they can get a hold of you on Facebook?
Instagram. My cell number 337-842-0847, and www.cakedbykammie.com.
All right. Thank you, Kammie. That's Caked with a K.
Yes.
And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Imani. And you've been watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Hi, my name is Ian Fontenot, and I'm with Cajun Broadband, and I get internet way out here. Oh, I got a tweet. So what's good about Cajun Broadband, you got a local company, you got local customer support, you got small businesses, couldn't even have a peace of mind knowing that their security cameras work in the evening, because the service just wasn't up to par. And we come in and we're an option, and we're a local option.
Hi, this is Kammie with Caked Makeup Artistry by Kammie, LLC. Tune in weekdays for Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Before John DeVille and his staff can unlock the doors, there's a gathering outside of the Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana. His staff would like to invite you in for a dining experience you won't forget. From fruits and salads made fresh every day to a spacious environment to stretch your legs out and loosen your belt loop. Enjoy Central Louisiana's best in seafood and steak. The Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana.
Good morning. Welcome to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay. Joining us right now is the owner of Paw Fit LLC, is Bridget Reed LeBlanc. And most of y'all might know her if you live in Ville Platte anyway. For so long, she worked at Coral's Vet Clinic as a vet tech assistant.
Yes, I was the registered vet tech and the practice manager.
Yes, and I know I've seen you for years because I've gone to Coral's for all of my pets, basically since I was a child. But I've seen you for years, and I know a lot of people miss you over there. How long did you work there?
For 21 years.
Yeah, a long time.
Yes,
yeah.
I loved it, yes.
And I know they were really sad to say goodbye. And do you still miss it over there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Every day, yes. Every day. I love miss my clients. I miss working with Dr. Corral and Dr. Megan and all of the staff, and the friends I've made.
And you were just so good with the animals, like every single time. You were so good. And how long have you had this sort of bond with animals?
Oh, as long as I can remember. As a young child, with my own pets, I had a lot of dogs and cats, and from taking care of them and doctoring them, and we brought them to Dr. Carell's office. He was my veterinarian, and so I had a deep passion for animals. I love animals and I love humans, so that's why I became a vet tech, was to help animals and their humans.
How long did you go to school to be a vet tech?
It's an associate degree, so it was about 3 to 4 years. It took me about 4 years.
Okay, where did you go?
In Natchitoches, Northwestern State University.
Okay,
yeah.
and did you know that's what you wanted to be?
Yes, I started out as a veterinarian, in pre-vet, and then switched to vet tech.
Vet tech.
Yes.
And so when did you join Correll's? You said it was 21 years ago?
Yes, so it's 1999.
Okay, and now you've started Paw Fit, and can you explain to people what Paw Fit is?
Yes, Paw Fit is a dog training. So throughout the years, I saw the need for dog training in this area. In my clients, I wanted to make an impact with dogs and their humans again, in a different way. And so I started the journey to become a dog trainer. So I started school and I became a dog trainer and opened Paw Fit in order to help people communicate better with their dogs. I could see at the vet clinic, dogs would come in and they were either just very hyper, their owners could not get them to listen, or terrified, or even a fearful, aggressive, and so I could see that there was something missing. And that people didn't understand. There was that missing link to, it's so easy to love your pet. It just comes naturally.
Yes.
It does, because we want to feel that love, and we love feeling that, that love, and we forget that we also need to learn how to communicate with them.
Yeah, they're like children. You have to teach them how to behave.
Right. And we forget sometimes that we are their advocate. We are their voice.
Yes.
So we need to learn how to communicate to get them to understand exactly what we want them to do, because we teach them that. And we forget that it's not always the dog, it's the human that needs to understand, what do I want to teach my dog? Do I want them to sit when this happens? Do I want them to learn how to wait at the door so that they stop darting out the door?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and stay in certain places. Do I want them to come when called? How do I do all of that?
Yes.
So it's like, and a lot of people want that, but they don't know where to start. So that's where I come in, is to help them to communicate more effectively. And when they communicate more effectively, their bond, it strengthens their bond, and you can see it in their faces.
Yeah, they get so excited.
Oh, yes, yes, they do.
And the dogs are better off too, because they're, having some discipline helps, because first of all, it's not going to endanger them, like you said, if they dart out, because my dog had a problem with that for the longest time.
Yes.
In fact, one of mine did it the other day, but they're really old, they're seniors, so can you teach an old dog new tricks?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm going to have to go to you then, because they they do that, and they bully me to take them out. Like, they're just nonstop barking, and I'm like, stop, I'm taking you out. But it's good for them for safety issues. Yes, because they'll run out in traffic, and we don't want that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, I use positive reinforcement, which is, reward-based training. So I utilize their love for treats, even food, toys, anything that they love, because dogs will work for things that they love.
I'm glad you brought that up. Do you recommend shock collars? Because those are kind of popular around here, like the ones that, to train them.
There are some instances where you may need them, but there is a proper way. So I am not trained in the proper way to use them, but I know other trainers that, if I feel that there's a need for that, then I would send them, because, and there's not all people do agree with that, but there are some instances that you may need it
Like maybe if the dog is aggressive, maybe you or just harder to control, or
right. More
Gotcha.
of the harder to control, because aggressive, then that can make a
You're right.
negative
That can make it
association.
worse. Yeah.
Yes.
What do you train all breeds of dogs and mixed
Yes.
breeds and everything? Okay.
Yes.
What's the easiest to train? The easiest breed?
I would say, because I've had a lot of the golden doodles, which are popular now.
Yes, they are.
And so I've trained many of those. And the younger, I've had some Aussies, that
Very
too.
smart dogs.
They are very
Yes.
smart.
Border collies are very
So,
smart.
Yeah. So far, those have been very easy to train.
And what are the most difficult that you find?
Like you said, the older, they can be trained, but it takes more,
Yeah.
it takes a little longer to
Yeah,
train.
they've been ingrained
And-
with those habits for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fearful dogs are harder to train.
That makes sense.
Yes, because they, you have to work with their fear first. And then because sometimes they're so terrified they can't even listen.
Right.
They can't hear because they're just so fearful.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot of like your smaller breeds tend to be like that. I find more, but larger ones too, especially if maybe you're adopting them and they come from a
Right.
bad situation, and they're
It's,
going to be scared.
What I've learned is it's the socialization.
Yes.
So, at a young age, it all depends on, it's just like with humans,
Mm-hmm.
it depends on what, at that socialization period, what actually happened, where they were, if they even were around other humans, if they were around other dogs. I mean, it's amazing to see, what it takes to properly socialize
Right.
a dog, from textures and
I wouldn't have even
sounds.
thought about
Oh,
that. I mean,
yes.
sounds I see, but I wouldn't have thought about textures.
Yeah, so at the vet clinic, we had some dogs that they had a hard time coming into the clinic because of the floors, because they, they were
okay, I
raised
got you.
outside
Yeah.
in the grass,
One funny thing that I had happen with my dog Daisy, I brought her into the clinic to get her nails cut because she would not let me cut her nails. She would try to bite me. She would growl at me. And I was so upset because every time I bring her there, she was fine. Like, here's my paw, cut my nails. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? One time I brought her there, though, and she was so excited to see you guys. She rolled over and she just peed on herself. Like, really? Really? But she was like, here, cut my nails. Like, so what are the most common issues that owners tend to have with their pets?
Most of them, jumping, jumping, and they just want them to listen. So it's like when you can start to train and teach them to, you utilize your treats and you're teaching them to sit, to go into the down motion, to stay, to wait. And utilizing that recall and associating positive things to the recall. We tend to, if they run off and they dart off and we're yelling their name to come, and we're in a hurry and we're angry, and when they come we might fuss them, well then that's made a negative association. So it's to make sure that we have positive associations with everything that we teach them. And so most of the time they say that I want my dog to listen, and recall is, which is come when called, and usually, not darting out the door.
Right.
Some of the behavior is usually jumping, even like the puppies, the nipping, things like that.
Well, I want to talk more about that after the break. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Bridget from Paw Fit, owner of Paw Fit, right after this. You're watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
At 1319 South Chautauqua Road is Paul's Specialty Meat Market and Grocery, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience. Specializing in smoked meats, specialty meats such as stuffed roast, holiday turduckens, boudin, cracklin, fryers stuffed with crawfish and cornbread, and large freezer specials. Providing fresh smoked meats to the community for 27 years, that's Paul's Specialty Meats and Grocery, 1319 South Chautauqua Road, Ville Platte, Louisiana, where fresh meat and good service equal a great experience.
Before John DeVille and his staff can unlock the doors, there's a gathering outside of the Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana. His staff would like to invite you in for a dining experience you won't forget. From fruits and salads made fresh every day to a spacious environment to stretch your legs out and loosen your belt loop. Enjoy Central Louisiana's best in seafood and steak. The Cajun Catfish Steakhouse and Buffet, 1452 Highway 167 North, Ville Platte, Louisiana.
Welcome back to Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television. I'm Nancy Kay. We've been talking with Bridget Reed-LeBlanc, owner of Pawfit LLC, and we've been talking about training dogs. And what I wanted to tell you before we went to break, but I have a story to go with that, because you were talking about positive training, positive reinforcement rather. That happened to me the other day. My dog Draco ran out, and I had to go chase him around the neighborhood. I mean, I got in my car, and luckily I found him. So he didn't go in the heavy traffic. He just went, kind of in the back road. But I found him, and my first instinct was to yell, like, why did you run away? But no, I said, come on, Drake, you want to go? Come on, you ready? And he jumped right in my car, and I just said, good boy. That's such a good boy.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm starting to do that a lot more now. And also, I was going to say, whenever you have a dog that has misbehaved or done something wrong, is it better to correct them in the first few seconds and not wait? Like, let's say you come home and see they made a mess. Are they going to know what you're fussing at them about?
Right, you're correct. You do need to fuss them in the moment, because they don't understand.
Right.
You have to catch them in that moment.
Right.
So it's like, just like, when your dog's jumping on you, you correct them in that moment.
Right.
Not, you don't let them jump and then, a few seconds later, no, because you want to catch them in that moment. Because a lot of us, we tend to let them do, and then we're like, oh, and then so we send them mixed signals. So the with what happened with your dog, that's a great example, because with our energy, we don't realize, even with our energy, we come off when we want to, if she would have felt you, or he would have felt your energy as coming, like you're upset, then they're like, oh, and then they back up.
I was really upset, but then before I opened the door, when I found him, I thought, nope, just praise him for coming in, and I had good energy. I said, come on, boy, let's go. And I was surprised he actually jumped in my car. And I said, good boy, good boy.
That's a good one.
Now, for someone who's never owned a pet, particularly maybe a dog, since we're talking mostly about dogs, would you recommend they get a puppy at first, or maybe an older dog?
I like both, because with puppies, though, you can train them. You start off young, and you train them, as you have that communication with them. As an adult, with the socialization, you don't know what's happened to them, but they can be, you can still help them. So it's like, you want to help the older dogs, especially if you want to go and adopt from an adoption agency and stuff like that. And so, being that you can train an older dog, so I would say I like both. It all depends on what you're looking for.
Of course, but I usually tell people, if you've never owned a dog, I say don't start with a puppy, but go to an adoption agency, because they can tell you all of their, their habits. They'll tell you if they're house trained, and because they've been with fosters, so some of them are trained. So I say look at the shelters and see the information on it.
Great.
Yeah, because I hate to tell people to get a puppy, because it's so messy in the beginning, and it's
it's a lot.
And I've had dogs all my life, and I still find puppies difficult to work with, and kittens too.
The house training and all of those.
Right, and you want to make sure, of course, the dog that you want to get is going to fit your lifestyle, right? So like if you're very physically active, what types of dogs would be best for that?
Those. That's why, like with Australian Shepherds, Border Collies, those dogs need a lot of mental stimulation.
Yes.
So, I'm glad you said that, because you really have to research the breed. So if you are more laid back, you live in a small house, and you want them a house dog, then you wouldn't want to get dogs that require a lot of training, a lot of, I should say, playtime, especially if you're not home. A lot too. So that helps, to narrow it down. Like, what if I'm going to be, home only in the evenings, most of the time, then do I want my dog to be in a kennel,
Right.
you know, that
Yeah.
for that long of a period of time? And when my dog comes out, really am I going to have the time to be able to go outside and play for that hour of,
Yeah.
you know, fetch or,
Right.
you know, walking and running and playing with
That's what I love
Lecompte.
about my two dogs, because they're old men, they're seniors, they're like really, so when I'm gone, they just sleep. They don't tear anything up because they know the rules, you know,
yeah.
but it's just they're too old to really make a mess of anything, so they just sleep while I'm gone, so that's perfect
Yeah,
for
as
me.
they get older, they quiet down.
I know, because I've fostered plenty of dogs, or I've rescued some, you know, from the street and try to find homes for them. And when they're young, I would come home and like, oh my gosh, you ate half my books. Why did you eat my books?
Yeah, some of the separation anxiety issues.
That's why I love my seniors. And I tell people, like, if you've never had a dog and you're pretty active, just get a senior. They're fine. You know, they need a home too. So, so we talked a little bit about how Paw Fit differs from other training programs, because you also kind of train the humans, right?
Yes.
And what kind of training do you offer? Is it group training, private training, all of the above?
Yes, all of that. So I offer private training, which is one-on-one. So I go to your home and we train for an hour. So I do the hard part of getting them to understand what we're asking them to do, and then I hand over the treats and stuff to the owner, and they get to work with their dog, and then I, you know, just watch them to make sure that the communication is there and that it's, you know, it's done correctly, and then and we meet every other week, and then I also have Board and Train, which is a 2-week program where the dog stays with me in my home and I train them, and they get a 2 follow-up visits afterwards. So, you know, I train them in my home, but then I want them when they go home, I want the owners to be able to communicate as well. So I work on integrating what they've learned at my house with the owners in the owner's house. So I mean, it takes about an hour and a half, you know, to go through
that's not bad at all.
everything to show them what, you know, what doors they want them to do certain things, where you know, all of that, and where they want them to stay, and all these different things like that.
I love that, and it makes their bond that much closer. Between the human and the pet. I hate to call them the owners. Like I would say, I'm their human. You know, that's what it is. What's the most challenging part of your job?
I would say that getting people to slow down and really take the time to do the training. People are very busy, you know, especially if they have young kids, you know, with running, you know, to all the practices and everything. So it's pretty to just get them to understand that, you know, you have to do this in order to bond with your dog, you know, and get them to understand, because we tend to just, you know, hey, you know, and then keep going, whereas, you know, they need that human interaction also, you know, and it helps us to slow down and really, you know, when you're bonding with your dog, you know, you're in the moment, you're present, you're feeling that love, you're feeling that happiness, and we run so much during the day.
I know.
We need that time to slow down, so we can utilize that with our dogs.
And what's your favorite part about your job?
Oh, just seeing them light up, you know, when they're connecting. And the dog is wagging his tail and so excited.
It's like, oh my God, I did something right.
Yes, he did it, or she did it. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, have you ever tried to train cats?
No, well, I say no. My own cats, yes. I mean, you can utilize some of the same things, but of course they're different. They're different from dogs, but you can utilize the same positive reinforcement with a cat. Yeah,
cats, they think of you, they're the king or queen, and you're just their subjects.
Oh, yes.
You're the waiters for them. And I love my cats, but they're like that. And I should also ask, or I should also mention, when it comes to service animals, a good idea to tell our viewers is that you really should not go up to a service animal and pet it when they're doing their job. Right.
Right. Yes. Yes. You definitely, because we have a tendency like, oh, you know, they're so cute.
I'm the same way. I have to stop myself.
Right. And even keeping our own dogs off leash and stuff like that, you know, they run up to different people or different dogs, and so following those laws, and there's a reason.
There's a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we go, what's something that you wish more people understood when it comes to animals? Not just dogs, but just animals in general. What you wish people understood more?
I feel like I wish that more people understood how important the communication is, because we take that for granted. You know, like I said earlier, we are their voice, we are their advocate, and so just taking the time to understand each other, to understand, because when we understand, when we can communicate effectively, then the human-animal bond is a precious, precious gift. And when we can love and, show love and compassion to those animals, then the world is just a better place.
I know, and for me, I always wish more people understood that these are sentient beings. They have fear, they feel pain, they can suffer. So just treat them with compassion and kindness. So I like that. Now, how can we contact you? You're on social media, or
yes.
Okay.
So on Facebook, it's under Paw Fit, and on Instagram, it's under Bridget or LeBlanc.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Bridget, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And I just love the program that you've created, and I've always loved seeing you at Correll's Vet Clinic.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you're on this next chapter of your life. I think you're going to go really far with it.
Thank you so much.
All right, Bridget Reed LeBlanc, owner of Paw Fit LLC. You've been watching Evangeline Mornings on UGN's Louisiana Television.
Good.